Hello and welcome back. In this Black Excellist series, we will highlight Lewis Hamilton.
Welcome to Blackexcellist. This is where we celebrate Black excellence, achievement, and affluence. Our mission is to inspire you as we enlighten you.
Lewis Hamilton is a British Formula One motor racing driver who has won the World Championship on 5 occasions, making him the most successful British driver of all time. He is a once-in-a-generation phenom in Formula One racing world and stands amongst the likes of Michael Jordan, Usain Bolt, Serena Williams as dominant athletes in their respective sports. In this Black Excellist presentation, we are highlighting the best British driver ever, Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Carl Davidson Hamilton was born on January 7, 1985, in Stevenage, a large town in Hertfordshire, England, about 27 miles north of London. He was named after Olympic sprint champion Carl Lewis. His father, Anthony, whose parents immigrated from Grenada in the West Indies in the 1950s, and his mother, Carmen, divorced when Lewis was about 2 years old. He initially lived with his mother until he turned 10 years old. Then he eventually moved in with his father, his stepmom, Linda, and his 3-year-old brother, Nicholas. Remaining close to his mother, Lewis was also able to form a strong bond with his stepmother and credits both of the women with contributing to the caring, considerate side of his nature. He finds the cheerful bravery of his brother, who suffers from cerebral palsy, very inspirational. But his unbending ambition and iron resolve comes from none other than his dad. Anthony Hamilton, who is also his mentor and manager, has always taught him to be courteous and polite. But don't let that soften his focus and determination. Anthony worked day and night for years, holding down 3 different jobs at one time to further his son's racing career. A career that effectively began when the 8-year-old Lewis was given a well-used go-kart. Soon the Hamiltons, Anthony, Linda, Nick, and Lewis, were all fixtures at Lewis's karting events, and were starting to realize the brilliance of the boy racer after he started winning numerous races and championships. In 1995, the 10-year-old kart champion had just picked up 2 trophies at a motorsport awards ceremony in London. Brandishing an autograph book prepared by his father, he approached Ron Dennis, boss of the McLaren Mercedes Formula One team, and introduced himself. "Hi, I'm Lewis Hamilton, and one day I'd like to race for your team." 3 years later, Ron Dennis was ringing Hamilton's telephone to offer him a deal with his McLaren Motorsports team, and his accelerated progress through the ranks was legendary. After winning 8 championships in 6 years of kart racing, he went on to win 3 major single-seater championships. And in 2006, he earned 5 championships. The young British racer's outstanding performances prompted McLaren to promote him up to the Formula One team. But there was the looming question, is Lewis ready? Yeah, we think so. In his first season, not only would Hamilton become the first and only black driver to race in Formula One, and he did it in such dramatic fashion, the young precocious racer stormed into the 2007 season, earning a spot on the podium on a dozen times, winning 4 races, and even leading the championship for 5 months. When the season concluded, Hamilton would find himself behind by just 1 single point. And although Hamilton would have to settle for second-place honors, it was certainly a dazzling debut for Team McLaren's new recruit. With all eyes on him in 2008, Lewis Hamilton would take on the leadership role of his team, the admiration of his newfound fans, and the criticism of his competitors. He would make his way to the podium several more times, but his rivals accused the new superstar of arrogance and dangerous driving. However, Hamilton was following his father's playbook, cordial but courteous, firm but fair. And that playbook, along with Hamilton's keen skills, would put them in strong contention for the championship title in just his second season. But it would come down to the grand finale, the very last race of the Formula One season. And again, it would come down to just 1 point. Ultimately, he only needed to finish at least 5th place to take the title home. On a serpentine Interlagos circuit, made more treacherous by rain, Lewis Hamilton would become part of arguably the most thrilling climax in the annals of any sport. In a moment made for a movie, Lewis was able to overtake the fifth-place car with only 300 meters to go to win his first world championship in only his second season by just 1 point. The 23-year-old Wonder Boy would become the youngest world champion in Formula One history, the sport's first black driver ever. After winning his first championship on the last corner of the last lap of the last race in one of the most thrilling fashions, Hamilton brought unprecedented international attention to Formula One racing, and his pleasant personality and charisma made him an inspirational role model and ideal ambassador for motorsports. In the following seasons, though he continued to be one of the most aggressive drivers on the track, he continued to win races. However, Hamilton failed to regain his championship form. In 2011, Hamilton blamed distractions in his private life and the performance of his McLaren car. In 2012, he was able to put his private life back on the right track, and it helped him finish fourth in the standings with 4 wins. But in 2013, he would transition over to Team Mercedes, where in his new environment, he became a regular frontrunner, securing several poles and podiums, and again finishing a respectable 4th in that year's championship. In 2014, Hamilton would eclipse the 33-win mark, becoming the most successful British Formula One driver ever. He would also clinch the 2014 Formula One championship in the last race of the season at Abu Dhabi, summing up the year's accomplishments as the greatest day of his life. Hamilton's 2015 season was nothing short of miraculous, legendary. He would win an astonishing 10 races, vaulting him into 3rd place in the all-time winners list with 43 career victories. With the power and performance of his Mercedes F1 team's car, he dominated the season, winning his 3rd world championship. It was now unquestionable, undeniable that Hamilton had joined the ranks of the sport's greatest drivers ever. His magical and masterful performance in 2018 elevated Lewis Hamilton to the highest echelon of motorsport when he earned his 5th world championship at the age of 33. Not even a global pandemic could get in the way of Hamilton in 2020, as he became Formula One's most successful driver ever. He was able to surpass the previous record of most Grand Prix wins held by the legendary Michael Schumacher, and he soon equaled the German's unprecedented record of 7 world championships. And he was even more of an unstoppable force off the tracks as well, where he relished his celebrity status, embraced his position in pop culture, and cultivated his high-profile presence on social media. The high-flying tattooed speed racer would become a style icon, a playboy of sorts, and was a regular on red carpets and VIP parties with the rich and famous. He has dabbled into music, fashion, and veganism, but as his fame transcended the race car tracks, he never lost his driving ambition, nor his hunger to win. Even at the peak of his powers, he was surgically looking for ways to improve his driving and started to incorporate a thinking dimension to his driving instincts, coupled with a better appreciation of teamwork. Hamilton's superiority behind the wheel has inspired many and has elevated him to role model status for young Black people. He relishes the role as a fierce fighter and hasn't been shy about using his platform to fight for civil rights and human rights. Hamilton has become a spokesperson for Black Lives Matter, and following the murders of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, the driver has been seen multiple times wearing t-shirts with anti-racist messages. Lewis Hamilton is now Sir Lewis Hamilton after being knighted in recognition of a glittering career in Formula One. Another humbling and historical moment for Hamilton was joining the ownership group led by Rob Walton of the Walmart family, who will be purchasing the NFL franchise, the Denver Broncos. Today, Lewis Hamilton's net worth is north of $350 million, and despite frenzied speculation over his future in racing, Hamilton's quest for an unprecedented 8th World Championship title is still in his sights. He still believes that nothing is impossible, and in his illustrious 16th season, Hamilton made his 300th Grand Prix start at the French Grand Prix in July 2022, and he's looking like he's got a lot of gas left in the tank.
I started racing when I was 8, so I was 10 here, and I just won the British Championship. And this was a real epic and proud moment for me and my father, particularly because we'd struggled financially to be racing. My dad had had 4 jobs, and they had remortgaged the house. My stepmom, Linda, and my dad, Anthony, had put all the money into those experiences in karting. It's the grassroots. It's the most important foundation from a racing driver's point of view. That's where you learn to handle yourself. That's where you learn to get your elbows out. That's where you learn all your racecraft. During that time, firstly, we're the only black family there, and then secondly, we're fighting against, in the championship, against a kid who had a very, very wealthy family. He was from a very, very wealthy background. But this kid had like 2 mechanics, best carts, best engines, and then it was just me and my dad out the back of our trailer doing our own, mechanicking. I was mechanicking my wheels.
We appreciate the fact that you stayed until the end. Thank you for spending time with us, and don't forget to like this video. Also, make sure you subscribe so that you never miss a video. Bye for now. We will see you tomorrow.